Well, good morning. If you've watched any of my other videos, welcome back. And what's on the table this morning? Well, like I say, if you've seen any of the other videos, you've probably seen the Riverfind project. And I made this little box opener here. And I made this little thing here as well. It is a tale of three knives. So I'm pretty keen to get into the old using up the leftover here. Make myself another little folding knife. It'll be the second folding knife I've ever made. And again, I've got a video on this one here, the first folding knife I ever made. And in that I mentioned, yeah, it's pretty good. I've used it a bit and it works really well. You will note though that this is flush. When I roll that around, I don't know if you can see that clearly in the video, but that's sunk in a little bit. And the reason for that was, like I mentioned in the video, is I shaped up the blade and then put the hole in and got it a little bit wrong. So before I proceed any further with the next folding knife, I figured I'm going to have to make myself a ruble gauge or rise and fall indicator. So I was doing a bit of a dumpster dive the other day and I was lucky enough to come across this dial indicator. It's got no back on it, it's got no front on it, and that was, yeah, I found a couple of them but chucked out, so I've rebuilt this one, put the bits back together and it's working pretty good. As with most things in my little garage here, if I need them, I end up having to make them, and that goes for this 2x72 which I made for myself, my old DIY forge, and the list goes on. Even my barbecue outside I had to make myself, so that's just the nature of the beast and needs must. So I've got myself the indicator there, I've got myself some aluminum here. Not exactly sure what I'm going to do just yet and how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to make it up as I go. So come along for the ride and let's see what we come up with in the end result. So what are we looking at now? Well, I've given it a bit of a ponder, a bit of thought, and yeah, so far so good. Taken a little aluminium block that I had, faced it up, and done that sort of thing. Drilled an 8mm hole, which is pretty close or exactly what this shaft piece is in here. And so that fits in there now pretty good. I would put a grub screw in it, but I don't have a grub screw, so I've just got a little hex cap, dropped it, hex cap little screw here I'll put in there. Don't want to get it very tight of course because I don't want to squash this thing. If this all works in the future I'll probably get another better digital dial gauge, and I have measured a few new ones and they're all about 8mm too, so it shouldn't be too bad in that respect. So that'll go in there on my bottom plate, so that's good. I've positioned it on the bottom plate like so, with that in there, put a blade on and try to accommodate in the future bigger blades, make a variety of folding knives as it were. So that's all good, so I'll just screw that on there. I've countersunk those on the bottom due to the fact that that's the only fasteners I had. If you're new to working with aluminium, yeah, what do you need to know? When you're cutting it, you can cut it with pretty much anything you can cut it with almost a wood saw if you had to. But what you do need to do is lubricate the blade. The textbooks, if you're old enough to know what a textbook is, or I should probably say the theory will tell you to use kerosene to lubricate the blade, which works really good. I do have kerosene but not much left, so what I'm using is WD-40, which does exactly the same job. Works good. So there are other things you can use, but it is important to lubricate your blade, or the aluminium gets a little sticky on your blades and your teeth of your cutting devices, and once they bind up with aluminium and get covered with it, it's very, very difficult to get off. So just something to note and keep in mind. So that'll go in there like that. Hopefully still works really good. That'll go in there. So I need a variety of blades, so I think moving forward, I'm going to take this little plate here, another bit of 4mm aluminum, and I want to be able to put it on there. In the future I'll make a variety of different size knives, so the theory is to take that plate off, get another plate, or turn it around with different size of pinholes, EG, that sort of thing, pinholes, and of course you'll have a spring coming out the back, so I have different pins in there. So I've got a little bit of adjustment on this going back and forwards. Wrong Allen key, there we go. Going out there and in there, but I'm not exactly sure where everything's going to go at this point, because the knife's, it's only the second one I've made, and yeah, not exactly sure what's going to do. So what I think I'm going to do is drill and tap there from underneath, slot the bottom one so I can move it up and down just to get a bit more of adjustment. If you can't make things 100% accurate, make them adjustable. So that's the theory. Might work, might not, but we'll give it a go, and I'll get back to you when I get to the next stage. All good, so I got that slotted out. A little bit of sideways movement like that, but of course this is just a prototype, so if I'm going to make another one, and I probably will one day, I'll iron all those sort of problems out. Quite often you've got to actually do it to make the mistakes to know what you need to do. Like I said, I'm just making this up as I go along. A little bit of guesswork there, have to be honest. Seemed to come up alright. So I'll poke that back in there and work from there. Oh, wrong screw, mate, wrong screw. Screws are gone. There it is. So yeah, that's a bit of suck it and see, as it is with most prototypes I make. Yeah, I'll have to make a few knives and even out the issues and do that type of thing. Bit of background noise there, but you get that. Yeah, so we'll just get this assembled. Hope you're having a great day. Don't know how well you can see that with the sun streaming in, but yeah, like I just said, there's a bit of sideways movement, but that'll clamp up, so I'm happy with that. Hopefully these little fasteners don't interfere with the spring system. So that'll go somewhere like that. So I'm figuring, and I could be totally wrong on this, I'm figuring that the hole for the pin there will need to be directly in line with that. It'd have to be, wouldn't it? I hope so. So that's what I'm going to aim for anyway. Going to go for that, so I'm going to get some holes in there. I'm going to go for a 6mm one in this. It's probably too big, but that's what I've got to use, so that's what I'm going to use. And then from there, I'm going to have to do something better than this wood just to hold it up, give it a bit of clearance. So, like I say, a little bit of adjustment both ways now, which is good, so I can get it exactly where I want. So yeah, I think that's almost pretty good. So underneath as well, take that off, I'm going to put a bigger hole. So if I change the plates and do something a little different, then that won't be an issue. All good, let's try and do that, eh? So the sun's gone down and I've drilled the hole, as you can see, and I've put these little silicone bumpers put on the bottom of furniture, so you give it a bit of height when things are underneath. So yeah, it's getting to the end of the day and it's getting to the end of that little job, so we'll assemble it now and we'll see how we're looking. It's got an F on it, so that's the front. Stick that together. Oh, the Allen keys are gone, no they're not. So yeah, that's not a bad little project. I think we've really almost got it to about where we can go with it for now. I'll just get this together and do a bit of an outro once it's tried, and that'll be that. Like I say, good little project, and hopefully it works. Bit fiddly, got it. Done. That part in. Right. So that's cool. I've got that hole in line, like I said. Fits in there, no worries at all. Yep, that's cool. That's good, that's good, that's good. Now, this one will go in. I just had that Allen key too. No, I didn't. There we go. Yep, that's working good. So far, so good. Oh, don't touch that. Flip that over. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. I'm happy with that. So we'll get our little blade, see if we can find the little pin I made up for it. There it is. Put that on there. Put that on there. I'll try and get a little closer to the camera on that one. All wrong way. So hopefully you can see that. Let me get a bit of focus on. So hopefully you can see that. Yeah, so it's working. That's good. Naturally, I don't know where my spring's going to go, and I'll start making the knife before we get that far. All I really planned to do today was make this thing. And yeah, it's doing the job. I'm pretty happy, pretty sure that that'll work. When I figure out the spring and all the rest of it, then I'll drill a hole, and you'll probably see that when we get on with making the pocket knife. So that's the job done really. So like I said, I'll do an outro because that's what I like to do. So there you have it. Just made myself a, I think they're called a Rubel gauge, or whatever they call them. I call it a rise and fall indicator. It's going to work. It's going to do the business, hopefully. So with that, we'll wrap that up, and that was good. I enjoyed that little job. I'm looking forward to finishing the Riverfine project. I might leave a link to the first part in the description, who knows. And I hope you've enjoyed the music in that one. You're probably getting a little sick if you're watching many of my videos, you're probably getting sick of that, so I decided to crack out the old guitar and give it another go and try and make some more melodic tunes for you to listen to. That's really neither here nor there, I guess, at this stage. Those tunes are all my own creations and come from my fingers when they were a little bit more nimble than they are now, after being banged and smashed and all the rest. So with having said that, I hope you enjoyed that little video. I've done my best effort to get it right. If you've made a heap of those, you might have noticed me make a few things and do things wrong that shouldn't have been done and won't work and all the rest of it. So just, yeah, always open to criticism and always ready to learn new ideas. So leave some comments and let me know what you think. Apart from that, yeah, thanks for watching, and thanks for all those people who subscribe, because that really does help.